Testing 1 2. Okay. All right. Here's one of my. Hey, Daryl Charity, how you doing? We're gonna focus on one thing, and then I'll open it up to questions. This is gonna be about the public charge stuff that people keep asking me about, keep bringing up. I'm gonna start this off by saying, look, guys, I'm not. Yuri and I went through this process, and we went through it successfully and everything. But I'm not. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have any kind of credentials for immigrations. All I tell you guys is what I've done. That's all we do. And when you watch our videos, we just say, here's what we did. And Yuri is now a U.S. citizen. Like, we went through the green card process. We went through the whole K1 process. All that stuff is over. It's done for us. But what I want to do is show you the resources that you can use to figure out more about this public charge stuff. Where I am is right now I'm on, let me see if I can show you the link here. Here's the link, right? Oh my Lord. That's pretty small. I'm on USCIS green card / public charge. Hopefully you can see that. This site right here talks about the final rule for public charge. And I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and discuss this together. Because without any kind of bias, without any kind of, we're not going to talk about politics. We're just going to keep it with just facts, just straight up facts. And if it's not on this page, if it's not documented by the government, we're not going to, it's not, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's not real. Here it is right here, public charge, and this came out on the 14th. This came out on the 14th, published by the Department of Homeland Security, and the final rules here is over 800 pages that's documenting what's going on with their new rules as far as public charge and people being inadmissible under this article right here for the Immigration and Nationality Act. All right, so here's the rules right here, and it comes out on the 15th of October right here. So, first one, let's just check it out. Who does this actually apply to? Okay, first off, what is public charge and what does it apply to? Okay, let's just kind of skim through this to understand it together. For the purpose of determining inadmissibility, public charge means an individual who is likely to become primarily dependent on the government for subsistence. And let's see if they mention anything specific, as demonstrated by either receipt of public cash for income maintenance, meaning you don't make enough money, so you go to the government and say, I would like government assistance. That's what they're saying right there. Public cash assistance. All right, so some states have it, and the federal government, I believe, has it. Okay, and then it says a number of factors must be considered when making a determination that a person is likely to become a public charge. So the immigration officer is going to determine whether you are going to become a public charge. Now, it's going to talk about who this applies to and all that kind of stuff, but let's just focus on what this is first. All right, let's see. And this is specifically, okay, here we go. An individual seeking admission to the United States or seeking to adjust status. So this is people trying to adjust their status from visa holder to green card holder. So it says it right here, adjust status to that of an individual lawfully admitted for permanent residency or a green card is admissible. So this is applying specifically to green card holders. Like before, people were kind of spitballing it and saying that this applies to K1, not necessarily K visa, but this is if you're going from a visa to a green card. That's what we're talking about specifically. All right, let's keep going here. How is it determined whether someone is likely to become a public charge? All right, let's look at this. Now, this is really interesting. This part made me laugh when I actually read it. Again, I'm not going to go into politics. I'm just going to keep it straight up with facts. And if you want to see where I'm at here, if you're late to the game, this is uscis.gov/green card/public charge. Or you can just go to USCIS and type in public charge and you'll see this. So let's just kind of skim through it and understand this together. Inadmissible. Okay, so how is it you can become, they determine whether or not you become public charge. Okay. Inadmissibility based on public charge grounds is determined by the totality of circumstances. So they're going to look at everything. This means that the adjudicating officer, this is the immigration officer who's looking at your case, must weigh both positive and negative factors when determining the likelihood that someone might become a public charge. At minimum, a U.S. citizen and immigration services officer must consider the following factors when making public charge determination. At minimum, okay, so they're going to look at your age, your health, your family status, your assets, your resources, your financial status, and this is the one that made me laugh, education and skills. I understand what they're doing. They're saying, okay, like how skilled is this person? How valuable is this person? What can this person get a job here? Is this person have no skills? They're much older. They're not going to be able to work. Their health is failing. They have no family. They have no assets. They have no resources. How can they support themselves? They don't have a good financial status. This person is going to become a public charge of the state. That's what they're saying. All right. So the officer may also consider any affidavit of support filed on behalf of the individual under this rule right here, section 213A of the Immigration Nationality Act. Okay. Let's keep going here. I'm just looking for specific things. In assessing the totality of circumstances, including the statutory factors above, an officer may consider individuals' receipt of certain publicly funded benefits. So if you have a visa, you came in here legally and everything. So this is not illegal immigrants. This is legal immigrants. You came here legally, you're on a visa, and now you're going to change your status, adjustment of status, and you're about to either go for your green card or re-up for your green card. What they're looking at is, do you have financial stability here in the country? Looking at these factors right here. And another thing they're going to look at is, have you ever sought after publicly funded benefits? All right. What publicly funded benefits may be considered? Okay, here's a good one. May be considered for a public charge, because there's many different things here in the U.S. There's many different benefits for people who are poor. All right. So, and let's just get right into it. Temporary assistance for needy families. That's one. Another one is state and local cash assistance programs that provide benefits for income maintenance, also known as general assistance programs. I want to say this includes things like Section 8, like if you had cheaper housing and it's under the immigrant's name. I don't think that this actually applies to the actual citizen. I think it applies specifically to the actual immigrant. Like if the immigrant actually applied for it and their name is, and they're going to get the benefits of this state and local cash assistance or temporary assistance, and it's in their name and the benefit is actually benefiting them in particular, then yeah. It says programs include Medicaid, supporting individuals who are institutionalized for long-term care, nursing, mental institutions, all of that is included. Okay, so they're saying incarceration in prisons that's not included, not considered public charge. I would think that would be obvious, but what publicly funded benefits may not be considered for public charge? Let's see. Medicaid. Okay, so Medicare is, but Medicaid isn't. That's interesting. Uh, Children's health insurance program, okay. Nutritional programs such as WIC. Of course, if your kid has free breakfast or lunch at school, they're saying that's not applicable. Housing benefits, okay. So Section 8 is not covered under this. Child care services, emergency assistance, emergency disaster relief. So if you were in one of the disasters and you got some money from the government, then that doesn't apply. Foster care, educational assistance. Oh, okay. There's one. There's job training, in kind or community based programs where they're giving out. Like say you were in your church and your church got together and gave you and your family money or some sort of assistance, then that won't apply. They're talking about publicly funded state and local government programs, specifically these ones right here. And I think that would include SNAP, which I'm not seeing here, but I think that would include that. Let's see, what else? Am I required to file an affidavit of support? Affidavit of support is the Form 864 affidavit of support is the form that qualified individuals or sponsors files on your behalf when you are applying for the green card. So yeah, this is specifically for green card holders already in the country here legally and everything, and they're going for adjustment of status. That's what they're talking about right there. All right, let's keep going here. Does public charge apply to me? Okay, so it says there are certain groups of people who are either exempt from public charge or may get waivers for public charge applying for a green card, and they are here. And they mention refugees, asylum applicants, and I'm looking for some other ones that might be interesting here. All these are very specific that it doesn't apply to. So I'm not seeing K1. They mention T visa, U visa, but I don't see anything about the K1. So I think that this definitely applies to K1 people who came here, K1 visa, and went to went to a green card. That's who it applies to. If I am removed for proceeding port of entry, how can I learn about public charge? Okay, so there's a lot more going on here. I'm gonna open up this to questions. I'm just gonna try to keep this. I know how contentious this particular issue is. I don't want to get into it. I got my own opinions about it. I'm sure you do too. I just want to really emphasize the facts. So let's keep it with the facts. Americans are not going to agree with this. America is super split on this issue. It is what it is. I just want you guys to know that this is what's happening. I didn't read anything about them evaluating you making more money or anything like that. I didn't see anything about that kind of stuff. I'm not sure about that. I noticed like on the last video, people were saying, hey, Bruce, like, do you have to make $60,000 do I have to make $60,000 to bring my wife or my spouse here? I don't know. I didn't see anything about that kind of stuff. There's a really good, somebody sent me an awesome breakdown of all of this from Visa Coach. So if you go to YouTube and type in Visa Coach public charge, he's got an awesome, incredible breakdown and just goes straight to the facts. I think it gets right to the meat way better than I just did. So go check him out. Again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm an immigration lawyer. I'm not any of that stuff. We did it successfully, but that was in 2014 was when we started, and we got through it within about 2-3 years by ourselves. We didn't use a lawyer. So all we do is tell people what we've done, and some people have found some success following in our footsteps. And that's it, guys. So like people been asking me questions. It's like, guys, we don't go ask Visa Coach. Go ask somebody who can rapid visa, like they can really help you out. But us, we're just regular people. If you're asking us questions, what you're gonna get is our experience with it. We could tell you what we can send you to other people who've been successful, or who we can mention people who've had success or failures with this, and that's all we know. You know what I mean? So, all right, let me see who's on here. Not many people, about 9 people. Daryl Charity says, "Hey Bruce, hey Yuri, how are you guys?" Yuri is not here; she's working again. Dipsy says, "Hey guys, how you doing, Dipsy?" Mr. Mike T Man, how you doing, man? He says, "Ayong gabi nang si Bruce on Yuri." Whoa, my man's learning some Cebuano. Good for you, man. Hey Art, how you doing? Hey guys, Andy says he's here to see Yuri. Well, you gotta leave because she ain't here, man. Good luck finding Yuri on the internet these days. Fellow traveler says, "What's the confusion here?" It's pretty straightforward. I think the confusion has come with some people adding. Some people's been spreading like kind of false information about, and I don't know if it's false. To be honest with you, I've not seen anything that what they're talking about as far as the immigration officer looking for you to make more money. I have not seen that, but I keep hearing people talk about it, so maybe there's some truth in it. I don't know. So, but what I want to do is focus on the public charge stuff. And if you guys have any information on as far as like them evaluating Americans' income more when they're going through the K1 process, then please let us know. Give me a good link that I can go to that we can show everybody here where that information is. Fellow Traveler says, yes, they don't want moochers to become green card holders. There's a lot to be said about that on both sides. It's very contentious. We're definitely not going to agree on this. Like we're just not. It's just like the presidency. We're not going to agree on it. There's just no reason for me to, for us to go back and forth with it. It's like religion. Like I can't convince you of my religion and you can't convince me of yours. You know what I mean? Like we don't agree. So, it is what it is. But there's the law right there. Your party wins. And they're going to continue to do their thing. So that's exactly what they're doing. And I just wanted to get that out there. I mean, I think I remember seeing this months and months ago, but it was a lot more limited. So it looks like they finally finalized this. They finally put the nail in the coffin on this one. But here it is right here. It's a little bit more. This is the complete breakdown right here. If you want to get more information on this one, let me see if I can let you see this a little bit better. Give me a second here. I'm gonna adjust the screen real quick, like this. Whoa! What did I just do? Okay, bear with me, guys. First of all, I'm gonna turn on the comments right there, and then what we're gonna do is, there we go. Here we go. That's it right there. That is the stuff that people are talking about right there. Boom. This is the actual document from federalregister.gov. The complete breakdown of everything you need to know. This is directly from the horse's mouth. The horse's mouse. It's from the horse's mouse. Derek F., thank you for that $5, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, so look at this. So it breaks down public charge. There's something called a public charge bond where you can get around. So for you guys getting super happy about this, there's actually a way to get around it, to be honest with you. So how effective is it if you can get around it? There's like a public charge bond. I don't know how that helps or what it is, but how clearly defined it is. But there's a way to get around this rule. If you're willing to look into it, it's all there. It's all in this document right here. You might have to get a lawyer, like an immigration lawyer, to kind of like understand some of the language here. How you doing, Damien? We're just discussing that it's really open topics at this point, guys. Like whatever you guys want to talk about. I just wanted to get through that first part, the public charge, and I promised that I would do it. So I went ahead and I researched. I was looking specifically for the changes in how the immigration officer evaluates American citizens bringing their fiance or spouses here. That's what I was really interested in, but could not find that. And it might be in here somewhere, but I just don't see it. All I see is stuff about the public charge, inadmissibility for public charge grounds. That's the only thing I'm seeing here. Yeah, and there's some controversy with it. Some Americans are like, yes, finally, we can get deadbeats out of here. Deport them all. But but some of us are not okay with it, because that's not how I believed that America was what America was all about. But and then again, I can definitely see the other side of the conversation. I can definitely see, like, well, why would you want people to come here and use taxes, your tax dollars, to do X, Y, and Z? And people who come here should be able to make enough money and blah blah blah. I get that. But my thinking is that it's already super hard to live in the U.S. You know what I mean? It's already extremely expensive. Yeah, here's the public charge bond. I don't know what this is at all, but there's some document you can do to help you out if you're having trouble with this process, I guess. I don't know. Oh man. Fellow traveler says, my wife is a green card holder. It was hard to get here, and I have to verify personal assets and really go the extra mile. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely feel the pain, like, of all the stuff I had to go through as well. Like, it's just a lot of process and stuff. You definitely should have enough money if you come here to survive on your own. I definitely agree with that. I just think it could be done better. You know what I mean? I just think it could be done better, especially considering how the U.S. is successful because of immigrants. Immigrants from all walks of life come here, and they make the country much better. In my personal opinion, like, half of the people who run for Congress and senators are the children of immigrants. Just look at them. Look at many of the people who run for Congress or senators or start businesses. Something like 27% or 30% of the small business creators are either immigrants themselves or the children of immigrants. And in their country, they were dirt poor, but they came here and they had drive and they had a vision. And in my opinion, that's why America is so incredible, and I don't understand why we would take that away or make it harder for awesome people, even if they're poor, to come here. BSKR says, Bruce, do you think Tekashi 6ix9ine should be in the witness protection program when he gets out? Off topic, I know. Wow, that's a really fun conversation I really want to have. I've been watching that. I'm a huge hip hop fan, so I watch that kind of stuff. That's one of my favorite pastimes to watch it. Why, it's just so dark though. It's so dark. Do I think he should be in witness protection program? Yeah, I think he's afforded that. He should be afforded that opportunity to go. I don't agree with what he did. I mean, it's pretty dirty. But also at the same time, like, I think that like, a lot of people say it's Tekashi's fault, but honestly, like, Treyway, that gang should have known better than to trust outsiders. Like, I don't understand, like, why they trusted him and were doing all that stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, what were they thinking? Like, what were they thinking to trust some weird ass outsider? It's so crazy. Like, and the stuff they did was so stupid. I mean, they're on phones talking about super violating people and shooting at people. I mean, it's so stupid, man. So dumb. When you do stuff that dumb, like, I can't. It's hard for me to feel sorry for you. At the same, I don't think that it's just, man, it's so dirty. The whole thing is real super dirty. Derek F says, interesting information. You can use breast milk for diaper rash. Now we're just talking about whatever, huh? VSKR7 says, I think he's gonna be even bigger star once he gets out. Possibly, man. This new hip hop generation is on something. Like, it's different now, man. It's not like it used to be. I mean, people are buying the albums, and it's not necessarily street oriented. Not, I think some of that's good and some of it's bad. To be honest with you, it's cool that the industry has shifted from just pure street mentality and gangs to like people outside of that realm buying the albums, and that's why the whole industry is like a multi-billion-dollar international, billion-dollar industry because of that. The fact that he's going to be big, I don't think so. I think he's going to go on the witness protection, and you're going to hear him. You ain't going to hear from him. I think he'll maybe release some Phantom albums, but you won't see his face. I don't think he'll show his face. He'll make albums and release them, but nobody will be able to find him, I think. And because I think his life is really in danger. Fellow traveler said I had to personally guarantee all her living expenses for the time that she will be here under a K-1 marriage visa, conditional green card. Yeah, so that's how it goes. All that to come and be in the American rat race. Like that's what, like Yuri and I, like I broke it all down to her when she came here. I said, listen, that's why we had this whole big thing. If you watch some of our old videos, some of the first times we were doing videos, and she was wanting to go back to work, and I said, listen, it's a trap. Like what we need to do is work on passive income. And she agreed with me, but at the same time, she wants to work. So I'm like, okay, that's what she's been doing. She's been working, but now she's starting to feel it. It's super hard. It's super hard to make it here. Like even just to survive. Like you got people having 2 jobs now. Like yeah, the economy is good in that there's more jobs, but you have to have 2 jobs if you're middle class, lower middle class especially. You have to have 2 incomes or more in your household, which is why parents aren't home anymore. Like there's really a problem here. There's really a problem in the U.S. and I think in many other countries as well are feeling this gap that's here due to capitalism. And I'm not saying capitalism is bad. I think it's the best situation we have, but it definitely has problems, and that income gap just keeps getting wider and wider, and stuff like these, like laws like this, make it harder for poor people to survive. And I guess that's the point, like make it as hard as possible for people who are dirt poor, who started from nothing. Make it as hard as possible for them, so that you can continue to allow that gap to get bigger and bigger. I don't know. Maybe that's what the plan is. Not sure, but this is what it seems like to me. My own personal opinion, but like I said, it's like a religion. Like we're not gonna agree. That's just how it is. But hey, that doesn't mean we don't have to like each other, right? We don't agree, but that doesn't mean we don't have to like each other. All right, we can agree to disagree. Derek says, in Maryland, you have to have 2 jobs just to pay rent. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Maryland, DC, all that area, man. Like I hear the rent, and actually the rent price is going much higher here in Colorado too. Much higher. Like it's something's happening, and it's happening very quickly. It's hard to live without multiple incomes. That's just a fact. Fellow traveler says, I work in the finance industry, and I can agree with you about passive income. Active income has been proven many times over not to be the path to financial independence. Absolutely. So every time I travel the world, Yuri and I go to all these places. We go to our favorite places is Thailand. Is one of our favorite places. We go to the Philippines too from time to time, and all the time we'll meet people who are living the life. Like they're older dudes, usually they're older gentlemen, and they're living over there in Pattaya, Thailand, living like they're still 20, by the way. But they always have properties. They always have properties. I noticed they either renting them or they sold it and they sitting on a whole bunch of money in the bank, or they have a retirement that they're living off of, or they have a business in their home country that pays, and then they just live off of that passive income. They always have some sort of incomes that are coming in to where allow them to live in a cheaper place. And so once Yuri saw that, and we put our heads together, we started going towards towards that kind of lifestyle rather than living in the rat race. And it's been working. You know, we got a long ways to go, but I'm glad that I was able to get through to her on that. But she still wants to work, so that's why she's not here right now. Let me see. Totality of circumstances determination. Oh, this is what we were just talking about. Oh, this goes into great detail about it. Look at this. The alien is a primary caregiver for a household member as consideration in the DHS has added a provision that would take into consideration whether an alien is a primary caregiver of another in the alien's household. For example, child, elderly. These factors tend to make it take into consideration difficult to monetize contributions by alien who lack the current employment or so they're actually looking at that. Like if you happen to make money but you're taking care of 2 or 3 people, they look into that as well. Wow. Crazy, man. Derek F says, yep, that's why I'm buying cheap townhomes and putting them in a little bit of money and renting them out. Yep, that's how you do it, Derek. I'm so glad I met, there's so many people on here that I met either in person or just talking online that have told us like what they've done, and it's been a huge inspiration. Like one of the first people we met, he had an online business, but he also wrote books on Amazon, and then he wrote a book about passive income actually, and I was like, wow, that's incredible. You know, this guy's really doing it. And then we met a Filipina, super smart, Alita. Man, she's so smart. My God, she's one of the smartest people I ever met, and so like caring and so such an awesome person. You know that I met, that Yuri and I met. It's such an inspiration to us, and we met her in person when we went to Vegas, and breaking everything down to us, telling us like what to do. You know, it's not industry that we wanted to go into. Well, Yuri's is still doing CNA work, and that's because of her. It's this Filipina, a super smart, brilliant, genius Filipina we met, who came to the U.S. as an immigrant, by the way, and is now successful. Like she's by now she's like a millionaire. Like when we met her a few years ago, she was, man, she's making well mid 6 figures. Like she's killing it, killing it. Amazing person. Meeting people like that, like, that watch me and talk to me from time to time. It's very successful people on here, and I really appreciate that, and I've learned a lot from you guys. So I really appreciate people like Derek F, sharing some of their successes. Wow, this thing goes into great detail about everything. This is a very long document though. Look at this. Wow, it's breaking down actual salaries. Whoa, this is incredible. Summary of major provisions and economic impact of final rule. They really put a lot of thought into this. They really put a lot of thought into this. Fellows Traveler says it's more than real estate. It works with equities too. Look at this, man. This is super duper detailed. I mean, I get it. I get that you don't want to have people come here and then suddenly be using they should be able to stand on their own 2 feet. But what I'm saying is like somebody like me, like I'm now doing really well in my own personal career. I'm doing really good, and I've been able to start a few businesses, right, where I actually employed people. One of them, at least one, actually employed people. I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. I've been successful. Yeah, real talk. I've been successful, but I started off poor as hell. Like we were on public assistance, we were on free housing, Medicare, Cade, whatever the hell it's called. Like We had all that free food, welfare, all of that shit. And I owe a lot to the infrastructure of the United States, because I used it. My mom used it, you know what I mean? So I appreciate it a lot, because if it wasn't for that, I definitely wouldn't be where I am right now. And then another one is the military. I went to the military and for 8 years, and wow, as much as it's taken from me, it's given a lot too. And so those structures work. I'm just saying, like, everybody doesn't start off on third base. Like a lot of people, like, they really take what we have here for granted. And we have a real good thing in the U.S. It's not perfect. Yeah, there's serious freaking problems here. There's serious problems in the U.S. That's for damn sure. But when you go to another country, you realize, like, other people have it way worse. So, fellow traveler says, are you living below your means? Are you living debt free? Are you investing or reinvesting? You only need about $1 million to retire using 4% rule on money invested. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people, like, really take for granted, like, what we have here and where they are in life, because a lot of immigrants come here with literally nothing. They come here with, I think at one time you could come here with nothing. Now they're saying, no, you got to have something before you come here. No, you're not coming here with nothing. You need to have something, period. And that's what this public charge is saying. And I don't know. I think maybe they should probably change what it says on the Statue of Liberty, because this is counter to that. This is not, but I don't know. What do I know? Here it is right here, guys. Read them and weep. But I think most of the people who I chat with here are not going to be affected by this. Thank goodness. But yeah, I know a few who probably will be. Yeah, there's a one or two I could think of who's probably going to be affected by this, and especially, hopefully, they didn't put any of these, like Snap. They didn't put that Snap in their former fiance's name, because that is bad. That is bad. It's gonna definitely go against you, and they're gonna have to take that into consideration when they're considering your situation. So, wow, something else. I got a feeling that once a new administration goes in there, all this will change, because all of this is being pushed by the current administration. So, and we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. Public charge. Wow. Yeah, I'm still not able to find anything about USCIS judging, looking into how much money a person, applicants make, because that was like the big question on the last one that we talked about. I was thrown out of the welfare office once because I asked them to pay my electric bill when I was laid off for 2 weeks. Man, I remember some really hard times, man. As a kid, it was hard, man. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating. It was super hard. Looking back, it was, I don't know how my mom did it, to be honest with you. I don't know how she did it. These days, like, the only reason I love the U.S., but the only reason I'm thinking of moving out is not for politics. It's because of the money. It's just getting harder and harder to live here. So I think what I'll do when I can is what I'm thinking of doing, when my kids grow up and they're doing their own thing. Because I'm pretty much I'm stuck here until the kids are done, Not stuck here, but, I got to do what I got to do. Meantime, we're doing what we, doing our thing here. It hasn't been that bad. But our maybe a long-term goal for us will be to make my current income and just move over somewhere else. Because I can work from home and then just go live elsewhere where it's cheaper to live. You know, Daryl Charity says, when you really work hard toward a goal, you will have setbacks, but you have to keep going forward, and you can't be afraid to fail. When you fail, it makes you stronger, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's my whole thing right there. That's my whole thing. You only fail if you quit. And that's something I tell my kids. That's my credo. I just work my ass off, and I'm gonna continue to work my ass off till I get somewhere. I mean, I started off dirt poor. I remember we lived in public housing, by a bunch of drug dealers and freaking. Man, it was brutal. It was in like the 80s. So the 80s like the crack cocaine era. The crack era, man. It was super bad. I could tell you so many horrible stories that you would not believe. My demeanor, the way I talk, like you would not know how hard it was. You would not know. And the people are always surprised when I tell them stories about some stuff that I saw or witnessed. They're shocked. And they're like, "What?" Yeah, like, yes, it was really bad. And it's because the United States has a structure that helps people out like me. You know, because I'm not bad just because but people aren't bad because they're poor. You know what I mean? Not a bad person because I was born into poverty. You know, there's some smartest people I know were poor as dirt. There's some of the smartest people I know. No, all of the smartest people I know, all 100% of the smartest human beings that I personally know, all started off dirt poor. White dudes, black dudes, Mexican dudes, brilliant, absolutely photographic memory, uncanny abilities and talents, polymaths that I know. These people started off poor as dirt, and it's only because we had a structure in place to groom them to be something that, you know, they can contribute to society. My personal opinion. That's, you know, so I just think that we shouldn't count out people who are poor. You know, that's just my thinking on it. Fellow traveler says, my personal opinion is you can live in the Philippines on 1/3 of the U.S. budget, but the focus here should be that you can thrive, not just survive and sustain income. Through passive means. Absolutely, fellow traveler. I absolutely agree with you on that. That's definitely my mentality, man. I'm with you on that one. I'm not trying to just survive. I'm trying to thrive. I'm trying to thrive here in the U.S. I want to thrive anywhere. You know what I mean? I want to be able to thrive anywhere. I got that hungry immigrant mentality. You know, I really appreciate that about immigrants that come here and do something big. Daryl Charity says, I remember that era, Bruce. I saw a friend of mine get shot in the head. Yeah, man, I got a similar story to that. Daryl Charity says, I definitely started off dirt poor, but I just keep grinding. Exactly, man. That's exactly what I did and continue to do. I was just fine. And, you know, most of the stuff I've done has failed. Most of the stuff I do does not do well financially or otherwise. And I just move on to the next thing, keep going. Yep, that's exactly what I've done. And then I look back home sometimes, and then like people I know, like some of my family is like still doing the same things they always done. You know what I mean? Like, I think everybody rolls up a little bit, but maybe I don't know. I'm just super hungry. Like, I want more. You know what I mean? I don't want to just survive. Like fellow traveler said, I don't want to survive. I want to thrive, man. I want to be able to thrive anywhere and everywhere. I don't want to just have to live in the Philippines because it's cheaper and that's all I make. I want to make so much that I could live here like it's nothing. That's my goal. Let me see another comment here. Daryl Charity says, I've been saving for 15 years. I hope to retire in the next 5. Man, awesome. That's incredible, man. That's incredible. Love to hear that. And somebody said 12 years. I'm making an early retirement and saving up. And man, we got a lot of really smart, disciplined people who watch us. Man, I love that. I love that. That's really great. I learned a lot from people who've been doing it for a long time, who've been doing it and try different things, and it works for them. And sometimes I'll try that stuff. Not everything's for us, but a lot of times I'll actually try it. Derek says, I play the lottery every week, just waiting. Same night I'm on the plane. I'm not trying to, like, the lottery for me is not real. I can't, nothing against the lottery. I think it's cool that people use it or whatever, and I know people win it, but for me it's just not real. So for me, business is real. You know what I mean? Like, I know 50% of businesses fail, but that's a 50-50 shot. I see it as a 50-50 shot. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm more into, like, investing or stuff that has a better probability of success than the lottery. Lottery is like you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than winning the lottery. So I'm like, I don't waste my money on it personally. But not to say, hey, if you win, congrats. Nothing against people who do it. It's nothing. I mean, hey, you have a better chance than I do of winning, right? Because you're doing it. Me, I'm not participating. I got a 0 chance of winning it. Gabriel, how you doing, man? He says, peace King. How you doing, man? Let me see. He says, Fidelity told me I need 900,000 for retirement. My God, that's a lot. But hey, if you're young, like maybe you can start early if you're in your 20s. BSKR says, do y'all invest money in Acorn? My portfolio with a is really lucrative, so Google Acorn and start saving and investing for. Okay, I check that. It's an app, right? It's like an app where you save. Daryl Charity says, keep doing what you're doing, Bruce, and you and Yuri will thrive. I'm so sure. Oh, for sure. You and Yuri are my inspiration, and me and other people in the community. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You guys are my inspiration, man. Like, real talk. Like, a lot of people I talk to here is what inspired me to write books. It inspired me to start another YouTube channel where I talk about stuff I do, cybersecurity stuff. Is inspiration behind cryptocurrency. It's the inspiration behind real estate, other forms of investing that were successful for us. You know what I mean? And the thing is, like, we tried certain other things that didn't work for us personally, but certain things worked. Some things didn't work for us. You got to find like what works for you. You know what I mean? So this community has given us a lot of pointers and people who've kind of blazed the trail on different investment strategies and creation of assets and things like that. And actually, people that we've met whenever we travel, like, are also a huge inspiration. Fellow traveler says, the lottery is being an American, creating opportunities. That's a good way to think of it. Gabriel says, I put four years worth of my salary in gross for just in case I get sick. Wow, that's smart. That's really smart. In a money market. And fellow traveler says 900K is not that hard to get. We just had the longest bull run in American history. Were you in the game? Damien says, I'm actually making a juice bar in QC. Where's QC? Is that that's in the Philippines? Where is QC? Derek F says, Softy is a good place to. It's just like Acorn. Softy and Acorn, huh? Okay. Gabriel says, the best way to prepare for retirement is to be healthy. Fellows, take care of your health. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. VSKR says, index funds, guys. You make hundreds of thousands. The money is out there. It's just the most people lack the knowledge and information. Absolutely. I definitely agree. Man, after messing around with stocks, man, that was very clear to me that there's so many opportunities. There's so many opportunities. Like every second there's opportunities. It's scary how many opportunities there are, especially if you're prepared. If you are prepared, there's so many opportunities. There's too many to actually take advantage of. Is what I've learned from like doing. And stocks isn't my thing. Like Yuri likes to do that crap. I hate it. Gabriel says you can't enjoy retirement if your back is busted. Yeah, that's absolutely true, man. Much harder when you're jacked up. Gabriel says Quebec. Oh, Quezon City. Oh, Quebec. QC. Oh, wait, hold up. Damien, what does QC mean, man? We're all guessing here. Quezon City? Is that what you're talking about? Jarvis, how you doing, man? We're just talking about random stuff, man. We just got through talking about this public charge thing that they're doing. Mostly this applies to green card holders who have applied for things like SNAP, like who are green card holders who are collecting benefits from state, local, and federal government programs such as food stamps. That's who it mostly applies to. Gabriel says being an entrepreneur. I agree with that, man. Being an entrepreneur. Fellow traveler says I will give you one tip on wealth creation. Low cost broad-based mutual funds and time. Yeah, mutual funds definitely can grow over time, that's for sure. For sure, there's no secret. There's no shortcut. I've been in this industry for over a decade now. Just save slowly, that's what you're saying, huh? Put it in a 401k mutual fund and just let it grow. My thing is, I'm not gonna sit here and crap on 401ks or mutual funds or stocks or anything like that. Not for me. I won't say that it's for everyone, but the thing that I really am most excited about and has worked for us is just creating passive income streams, and I can really see it working. I can really see us doing amazing things with it. It's fun for me. I love to do it. I love to create content that makes money. It's incredible, and also content that helps people out. Like so many times, like people reach out and say, "Man, that really helped me to pass this or that certification. This really, really helped me in my life." You know what I mean? That's really powerful to me personally. So it's something I really like to do, and it's something I feel like I can do forever. I'm not necessarily going to be doing cybersecurity forever, but content creation is something I feel like I love to do it so much that I can see myself doing it into my 60s and 70s. And still have fun with it, I hope. I think that the SP 500 goes up 7% a year. Seems like it hasn't gone down, right? I mean, it's just been doing nothing but go up, man. Gabriel says, being patient with your investment 401k plan is not made for people who make under 80K. It's also not about how much money you make, it's how much money you keep, right? So if even if you make a lower amount, if you could put more money away of the money you have, or if you can reinvest in yourself some of that, a large amount of your money, then that has really helped me a lot. Because what I would do is, one of the things I would do is I would start off in the Air Force. I was making nothing. Got out of the military, not nothing, but just above minimum, just above the poverty line, right? So I got in the military and I had these certifications because I'd spent a lot of time on myself. Like I spent a lot of time studying and stuff like that, and I ended up getting out making way more, like double, and then double. Like I was like, oh my god, I had all this extra income. And so what I would do is use some of the income and then get more certifications, and then that in turn made it available for me to make more money when I got the certifications or more education. And then now, I have all this expendable income where I can reinvest it in other things. And so, yeah, I mean, investing in yourself also works a lot too. And whether it's a certification or learning business or doing, investing in your hobby, making it a corporation or whatever you do, it just depends. But it's worked for me. That stuff has worked for me. Alex says, do I need to own my property or a house to meet the criteria to bring my girlfriend to the United States? No, you do not, Alex. So Alex, let me see if I can find something that'll help you out here. It is called the Poverty Guidelines. Let me show you this right here. So Poverty Guidelines, it looks a little something like this. This is what they use. One of the things that they use when they're evaluating whether or not you make enough money. And so let's just go into this right here. You don't have to own your house, but what they look at is, do you have enough income to support your household? So let's say, so here it is right here. They update it every year. They update it because, of course, the economy changes, right? So it takes more and more money every year to survive. Just this is how it is. So every year this goes up a bit. So what they're saying here, what you're looking at here, is, hold up, let me remove some of this noise from here, and I'll bring it back in a second. But oh wait, hold up, you can't see it. Let me just adjust it for you real quick. Let's just move it over like this, and then I'll adjust it like that. Okay, there you go. That's what I want you to see right there. So if you're still looking, Alex, if you're still with us, this is the poverty guideline. And the way where I went to, just go to Google and type in poverty guideline, you'll see it for 2019. There's one for 2018, but you need the most current one, 2019. And if you happen to be watching this video and it's 2020, then you need 2020 or 2021 or whatever. All right, so what this is saying is, if you have one person in your household, this is how much money you should make. You have 2 people in your household, this is how much money you make. If you have 3 people in your household, total of 3 people including yourself, that's how much money you're supposed to make, and so on and so forth. So it's not really about it's better if you own your home. It's better because that's an asset that they can say, oh, this person owns their house, that means I can put this I can consider that towards this income right here. But if your income's already $30,000 for 5, and you have 5 people total in your household, like that's you, 2 kids, and then your fiance when she comes to the U.S., and then your grandma or whatever, you're taking care of her. Those are all people who you're taking care of. They're in your household, right? That are benefiting from your money, whatever money's coming into your household. This is what they're talking about, 5 people. But how many people have 5 people in their house? This is still not bad. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, if you live in Alaska, then it's different, because it's much harder to live in Alaska. Like, Alaska's way more expensive. So it's automatically a few $1,000s higher for Alaska. And then if you live in Hawaii, same thing. It's a little more expensive in Hawaii. So it's all the 48 states right here. And then it's Alaska and Hawaii. So that's what you have to look at right there. So if you're renting, doesn't matter. As long as you have a place to live, of course. You can. There's some people I know that even live with their parents. Like, there was a couple, very young couple, and they're like 22, 23, had a kid. We're still living with the guy's parents, the mom, and there was no problem. They got here, legally. Everything's fine. They're here. They have a kid, married. I think she's a U.S. citizen by now. And I know a couple other people who the same thing applies to them. Let me see. I kind of missed a few things while I was talking here to Alex. Let me see. Being patient 401k. Okay. Alex says, do I need a property? No, don't have to own property. Daryl Charity says, are you still investing in cryptocurrency? Not so much anymore. I did pretty good, man. Honestly, I did pretty good with it. So much. I mean, I could have done great with it. I could have done great, man. But I didn't sell it when I could have. I could have done great, man. And it's hard to think about, but I'm out. It's too volatile. I'm gonna shift stuff to something. Maybe later, once we get our stuff together, I'll get back into it. It was fun. I liked it. But one of the things I didn't like about cryptocurrency is it's just moving too fast right now. It's just too volatile. I know it's gonna do well. I mean, the technology is sound. You got all these financial industries that they talk mad shit about it, but at the same time they're using blockchain. They talk shit about it, and then the next year they're like, "Oh, we're investing in cryptocurrency." It's like, man, I hate that. They'll talk mad shit about it, and then they'll turn around and do it. It's like, anyway, yeah, I did pretty good, but no, I'm not investing in it right now. I actually sold quite a bit of it in order to get into real estate, so that's what I'm doing right now. Derek says trucking is a good place to get into if you get a truck cash. You get a truck cash, and get a driver to run it for you. That's a good income. You know who probably does that is HT, man. HT's close to that. That dude's been doing pretty good for himself. He's only like 30 too. Gabriel says thank you for your service. Alex says I own at the moment, but every time I leave for work, my family breaks in. Oh man, that's horrible, man. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. So I'm thinking thinking about selling it and just renting otherwise, man. Man, before your girl gets here, man, make sure everything is stable as possible, man. True. I mean, I'm just... Because, like, having you here, man, there was already enough problems. There was... Her and I, like, when you make the transition from long distance... People don't really talk about this. But when you're going from a long-distance relationship going to living together, like, there's a big transition. So you're going to have some kind of... There's a transitional period that you guys have to adjust to one another. You know what I mean? So you don't want extra drama from family pouring gas on the flames of that. You want it to be as calm, and you want her to be as comfortable as possible, so that when she starts feeling homesick, if that should happen, or when you're teaching her to drive, or she's getting her license, or she's getting a new career here, and you guys are having difficulties living together because you're just adjusting to one another's personalities on a more intimate basis. You just don't need family to pour gasoline on everything. You know what I mean? So, Alex, man, just if you can, like, oh, it's my mom. I'll call her back. So if you can, Alex, man, just man, you might have to move out, man. I mean, I hate to say that, but if they're breaking in and stuff, man, you do not want that drama on you when your girl gets here. All I'm saying, okay, I'm not saying move out or anything. All I'm saying is just make sure it's as calm as possible, okay? Like, whatever you got to do to make it calm as possible, do it. Because there's so much extra drama that happened. I'll just tell you what happened with me and Yuri. Me and Yuri, like, we're very compatible, man. It's crazy. It's like a match made in heaven. It's crazy. As soon as we met each other, it was like, I don't want to say love at first sight, but it was amazing. The attraction, every aspect of it was like a spiritual experience, man. I'm not kidding you. That said, we almost broke up, man. She came here and she got homesick. She hadn't been home in like a year and a half, 2 years, and she got super like upset and mad. And she's a super independent woman, so she's used to going out. And in the Philippines, you could just catch a jeepney for like 15 cents and go, cross country and but here it's different. Like, we don't have especially Colorado, we don't have a very good transportation system here. You got pretty much have to have a car. The bus system sucks. There's no light rail. There's no alternative. All you have is, and then even like Uber and Lyft is too expensive here. Everything's too far apart. You have to have a car to have the level of freedom that she had in the Philippines. And then she couldn't get a car because she didn't have, the state won't give her a driver's license. I always have to be there to drive her around and stuff, and I couldn't always be. I was working in an office. I was working 30 minutes away from the house and stuff. So all that, like, there was just drama because and then we're also trying to adjust to one another. Luckily we had done a lot of that when I'd gone go see her, but there was still some more growing we had to do because I got 2 kids. My kids want to live with me. They don't have nothing to do with their mom no more, which I was like, oh shit, I didn't see that one coming. And so my kids are living with me. My kids are adjusting to my wife, and their new stepmom, and it's just like, and there was some drama there. They loved her like right away, and then she was adjusting to having 2 kids and stuff, but we got through it. You just don't want to have drama, man. Like, there was drama. Luckily, I was physically away from it. Physically away from the drama from her side of the family, and physically away from the side of my side of the family. Because mine was worse. Like, mine was a million times worse. So we had to deal with all that. But the more physically away you are from that bullshit, excuse my French, man, but that's exactly what it was. Bullshit. As far as you can just physically be away from it, then that really helped. That really helped me, man. And it continues to help me. Just being physically away from that really helps. All right. Fellow traveler says, as the family leader, you need to take control of finances and bring all parties onto the same page about retirement goals. Like what me and Yuri do with that is it's like a playbook. Like we get our heads together, we just sit down, we start strategizing about what we want to do. Right? We have like a 10-year goal, 5-year goal, 3-year goal. Like, okay, what are we gonna do today for our goals? Like, we're a team, right? There's some things that she's better at than I am at, and there's some things. It's just like a football team. Like, you got a quarterback. The quarterback's good at throwing. You got a cornerback. They're good at got guys that block. They're good at blocking. Like, you have to play your the field. Like, you got to play your position. You know what I mean? So for us, like, we think of it as like a team. Sometimes I got to be the quarterback. Sometimes I need her, to be the coach. Sometimes I'm the coach. Like, there's certain things I'm super good at that she follows my lead, and vice versa. So I just see it as a team, like a team effort, and we like help each other out. Because I have weaknesses, she has weaknesses. We just complete one another's strengths, and we see it as a team, like a partnership. That's how I see it. Gabriel says, is owning a laundromat good? Hell yeah, it's good. Hell yes, that's good. Fellow tribe, because even if you're in debt, you could write it off, but then you could sell it. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. That's straight up cash. So especially if it's automatic and people are like dropping quarters in there, wow, there's so much liquid in that. Fellow traveler says, before I paid off my house, I felt my home was a liability, and now it's an asset. That's awesome. Gabriel says, 5 people for $30K? Wow. Not in New York. Hell no. Yeah, this is pretty generous, I think. 5 people for 30 in New York? Yeah, no, I don't think so. But see, they would consider that. They would take that into consideration. This is just a rough estimate, but yeah, you're right. 1 bedroom in NYC is $15,000 a month. I mean, you might have to live out the city because that's a lot. Wow, Colorado's catching up with this price, by the way. Real talk, man. Colorado's getting just like this. Gabriel says, what about foreign property investments? Yeah, I mean, any kind of investment asset you have is good. Any kind of asset. If you could sell it, then it's awesome. Markel TV, how you doing, man? Markel TV, if you guys didn't know, is a YouTuber. Talks about he's an expat in Colombia, and he's been to DR. He's an expert in DR. And then I watch his content for that because I'm thinking about going to South America at some point and having some fun and checking out places to live when I retire. And also knows a lot about VA stuff. That's my favorite content from him. Alex says, okay, what's not bad? That's not bad on the poverty guidelines. That's great information, Bruce. Thanks, man. No problem at all. Gabriel says, away from the haters. Yes, yeah, physically get away from haters, man. Especially family haters, man. They're the worst. Jarvis D says, I agree with you. My wife has been here for 1.5 years. It's crazy enough with the emotions, man, telling you. So I agree with you. Try to be quiet. Try to quiet the drama before she arrives. Man, I'm telling you, man. We're telling you some straight up facts, man. We're dropping knowledge on you, man. Like, just kill the drama before. They have as little drama as possible, man. If you can afford it, get her like a car and be like, baby, this is your car right here. So you got to learn to drive. Like give her like incentives to like make this shit work. You know what I mean? Because that freedom, man, the Philippines, in the Philippines, they have, it's not a great transportation system, but it's a transportation system, right? I mean, you have jeepneys, you have those trikes, you have cheap taxis, you got Grab, you've got you can get a motorbike. Like, there's so many different methods that are cheaper than just a car, right? Because not everybody in the Philippines can afford a car. In the U.S., just speaking for Colorado, it's if you don't have a car, you're screwed, man. Like, if you don't have, they've got buses here, but it's like only on the main streets. It's just, I don't know, man. This is not very good here in Colorado, anyway. Alex says, "Oh yeah, I hate drama, and so does she. Good. We are both very introverted. Man, me too, man. Us too. And our 6 siblings, out of 6 siblings of mine, I only talk to 3 because of gossip and drama. Yeah, I got 3, and I talk to 0 because of drama." Broly Khan says, "Owning any business is great as long as you put in the work and creativity." Amen, Broly Khan. Definitely agree with that. Fellow traveler says, "Philippines is great for transportation." That it is, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, they have something. We don't have Colorado. I mean, New York is different. New York has great transportation. I think the Bay Area has decent. They have something. There's certain bigger, larger cities have something, but you get out in the Midwest, there's not good transportation here. It's just not good. You just can't get around easily without spending a ridiculous amount of money. Fellow traveler says, "And I feel like more than just a number in the Philippines. I feel like an ATM in the Philippines." Alex says, "Dropping truth bombs. I don't think she wants to learn to drive. She nearly ran over some kids nearly 20 years ago." Well, that's good. W. Wilson, how you doing, man? He says, "I sold my house in the U.S. a few months ago, and I now live in Cavite." Okay, me and my wife's house is now in Cavite, and it's paid for. Oh, that's incredible, man. That's great, man. She also stays a long time away from her family. Man, that's incredible, man. I love hearing stories like that, man, because that means I can do it too. I love stories like that. Incredible. NYC, we have 24/7 transportation. Yeah, NYC has probably the best in the United States transportation, but all of us don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, Midwest, their transportation sucks. And I'm coming from California, where it sucks. man, and it is so much worse here. Like in Sacramento, California, they at least have like a pretty good bus system that runs until like midnight. Right. I mean, I remember using the bus system, regional transit in Sacramento. I remember using it as soon as I hit like 14, 13 years old. I was using the bus system to get to school, to get around town, But here in Colorado, man, their bus system's not good. It's just they only do like the main roads, and then there's like no main roads inside of like it's kind of spread. It's more spread out, is what it is. It's not really anybody's fault. It's just it just they need to do a better job of it. They've been talking about doing like a rail system from like some of the main between the main cities, and that would be incredible if they did that. But I don't know. Maybe who knows? Philippine Paradise Chronicles. At work break watching. Hello from Todd and Hey, Todd and Giselle Herrick. How you guys doing, man? How are you doing? We're just talking about just basic stuff like poverty guidelines, and we were talking about what's going on with the new changes going on with the poverty, what was it called? Public charge stuff. That's it, and now we're just talking about whatever. So, joining the conversation. Gabriel says, do you plan to leave Colorado? Man, I love Colorado. I know I just got through talking mad junk about it. The housing's too expensive. They have a horrible transportation system here, but the good things is it's really just pretty progressive, man. They're pretty open minded here. Like you would think that this would be extremely conservative, but it's the opposite. It's extremely open minded. Their laws are they don't get in your house. They're not intrusive. Like California is pretty intrusive. Some of the southern states very intrusive. Colorado's pretty open, man. Like Colorado is very progressive and very. It's I like it actually. I don't know that I'll move. Like I can't think of any state that I would rather be right now, except for Hawaii. But Hawaii is too expensive. So with how much it costs here, and we're doing pretty good here. I don't know. I don't know that I'll move out of here. Even when I'm ready to actually like go to another country, I think I'll have a house here, and then I like it. Like, and Yuri likes it too. Like we actually like Colorado. We found that out this year. Actually, beginning of this year, we were really trying to move. We were trying to go to another state, a cheaper state, and we went there. We traveled there and looked at the housing, and like it dawned on us, wow, we really like Colorado. So I think I'll be staying here until we can find something better. Maybe we'll go to Canada and be like, man, I don't ever want to leave Canada or something. That's part of the reason why we travel. We're like looking for something, somewhere to hang out. And so far like Thailand's our favorite place, but Thailand's super rough on they just changed their visa laws, so it's much harder to stay there. Plus they have some severe issues with the military does like a coup or something like once a year, every other year or something. It's weird. It's like summer rains or something, man. They have military coups, which doesn't affect anybody but the locals. Gabrielle says, do you plan to leave? Okay, I read that one. Philippines says 6 months and a few wake ups till. Are you leaving? Oh, Philippines retirement. Yeah, man. Here's another dude right here who's about to retire in the Philippines, man. Love to hear these stories. So inspirational for me and Yuri to hear that, man. Like we got Mr. Wilson who's living in Cavite, just bought his house, sold his house in the US and is living in the Philippines. We've got Philippine Chronicles, Paradise Chronicles, who's about to retire in the Philippines, and a bunch of other people. And we're not. I don't believe we'll ever retire in the Philippines. It's not for us. For us, it's too much drama for us there. But too much drama for us. It's too crowded. It's just not my crowd. You know what I mean? It's just not my. It's a little bit. I don't know. It's just not. I don't think that I'll be retiring there. Maybe Thailand if Thailand's laws change. But I don't know that we would retire in one place too. That's another thing. Like we'll probably have a place in the Philippines and then go live in the Philippines for like 3 months out of a year, and then go to Thailand, live there for 3 months out of a year, and then like that's what I really like to do is like have a house in each place and then maybe do an Airbnb at those places or something like that is kind of what I want to do. But my home base will be Colorado. That's the dream for us. That's what we talk when Yuri and I are talking. That's kind of what we spitball, what we would like to do. Gabrielle says California is for the plastic faces. California. I like California. Beautiful people, great weather. I like the attitude there. There's more mixed races there. There's more mixture. There's more like being in the Midwest is very how can I put this without getting in trouble? It's just not a lot of Asians here. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of black people, there's not a lot of Asians, and not a lot of brown people. And I'm used to like a more mixed, a more diverse atmosphere. You know, like it's so much cooler when there's better restaurants, when there's more people. There's more selection. There's more variety. There's more. I don't know. I'm used to. That's what I grew up with in California, and California has that. There's a lot of Asian people in California, a lot of black folks, a lot of Indians, I'm used to. That's the environment I'm used to living. There's just a lot of huge mixture and people just coming together, and stuff. But what I don't like about California is the laws. The laws are stupid. It's so expensive to live there. They're really trying to do good things, but they just, the way they go about it is pretty stupid, in my opinion. And then my family is out of their minds. So yeah, that's a thing. But what am I gonna go? Southern California? No, not for me. Gabriel says Thailand. Yes. What part of Thailand have you been in? Anybody? Is Thailand better to live than the Philippines? I would say yes and no. It depends on what you like, in my opinion. For me personally, the freedom of Thailand, people are not like in your business like in the Philippines. Like people are all up in your business, man. And then people are like, it's so conservative. Like no offense against conservatives, but I lived in Saudi Arabia, man. And that's how extreme conservatism can get. Like, it's extreme conservatism. That's the far end of this conservative spectrum. Like, do what we say, not as we do. Like, you will do these things. Yea, verily, everyone will do these things or you will die. So I want to be as far away from that mentality as possible. I want to be able to do whatever the hell I want to do with it that's legal and not going to hurt anybody else. That's Thailand. Thailand, the people are super nice too. That's another thing. The problems with Thailand is couple issues. Like I said, it's kind of harder to stay there. I mean, fellow traveler, you probably won't have a problem. You got money. If you're rich, like you don't have a problem there, man. You got money in the bank. You got money coming in. Like you won't have no problem staying there. It's cheap. It's not as cheap as the Philippines. What other things? I know I'm forgetting something that why we're not living there. For us, it's the visa thing. That's one of them. And then the government issues from time to time. But I've talked to foreigners there, and they said they're not really affected by it. For me personally, Thailand's better to live. That said, a lot of people don't speak English. Like in the Philippines, the plus side is the people speak English. It feels more familiar because the culture is more similar to Western culture in the Philippines. Most people speak English. That's definitely a factor. Both are super crowded, but I think Philippines a little bit more crowded, which is a factor for me. So it depends on what you like. Most people, I would venture to say, would prefer Philippines, but me personally, the freedom aspect is much better for me. Like, I really love the freedom there. I love that people are not in my business. I freaking hate people up in my business. I freaking hate it. You know what I mean? Like, people like trying to start drama and get up in your business. I freaking hate that. And I don't know. It might be just my personal like life experience being in the Philippines. Fellow traveler says, I want to try BKK, man. Man, yes, definitely try it, man. Fellow traveler, man, I think you'll love it, man. You know what? Another thing we realized on our trip, we went to 3 countries. We went to Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. Okay, and went to Vietnam and we didn't like it. We left immediately, and it's because, and this old retiree told me, man, he broke it down to me. He says, it's because, and I told him, he says, man, I love Vietnam. Vietnam was incredible. Yeah, Vietnam is cheaper than Philippines. He was like, man, Vietnam was incredible. He was telling us about the Philippines and stuff. I mean, about Vietnam, how he went there with this girl and that she took him to his beautiful place. And he said, but the problem is that you were in Thailand first. And he said, Thailand is so much better than all the other Eastern Asian countries, that it kind of spoils everything else. And I would agree with that. It's just, the people are super nice, man. The people are nice. I don't know how to explain it. Like, people are super nice there, and I feel more welcome, even though you can't speak a lick of Thai. You can say hi, goodbye, good morning, excuse me, thank you, that kind of stuff. But the people are super nice. Like, everywhere I went, especially in Bangkok. If you go to like more tourist areas like Pattaya or one of those places like that, and of course people are gonna treat you like a tourist. But if you go to BKK, if you go to Siam, if you go to Ayutthaya, if you go to like, never been to Chiang Mai, but I bet Chiang Mai is even better. Like, people are so freaking nice. They go out of their way to help you. I didn't have that same experience in Vietnam. People were super rude. It was bad. It was a very bad experience. Super bad. But yeah, I mean, people swear by it and love it and stuff. And it might be just because we went to Ho Chi Minh, but I'm sure there's better places. We probably should have went there with somebody who knows the area, I guess. Like Anthony says he lives there in Vietnam have a home with his wife. That's cool. It wasn't for me, man. It wasn't for me. Gabriel says, I've been to Utah. Wow, what a culture shock. First time I met an actual cowboy. Yeah, man, the culture shock. When I went to the military, first place I went to, they sent me to Montana, and I had to say, it was culture shock, man. I'd never been in a place that lacking of. It's just different. It's so different from California. And it was like, what the heck is going on here? But the people were nice, though. I can't say it. I didn't have any bad experiences. It was fine. It's just very different culturally. You know what I mean? There was no. Anyway, Gabrielle says, I love Thai food and cuisine. Yeah, man. What is the deal with homeless expats? Yeah, what is the deal with that? I don't know. I think people go there unprepared. Seems like the guys who are unsuccessful here in the U.S., who didn't save, who are not go-getters, and like they complain about the U.S. all the time, and they can't do anything. They haven't bought a house. They haven't done anything here, but they have a little bit of income coming in, and they think that they can survive over there in a cheaper place. And for a while they do, and then they have the same mentality and work ethic, which is a lack thereof, and then they go to BKK in the Philippines, and then they're homeless. And then some of them actually get addicted to drugs too. Some of them they got addicted to drugs and lost everything. Some of them get scammed. They go over there, they had a girl scammed the shit out of them, and then they're home, like they got involved with the wrong crowd and they got robbed blind, and so they're homeless there. There's like really sad, messed up stories of people just making a lot of very bad decisions back to back, usually, from what I've heard. But I'm not sure. That's my guess. Fellow Traveler says, I would like to live on a budget of 1,500 per month. Yeah, man, yeah, that would do good in the Philippines, I think. Passive income 1,500 per month. Yeah, how about 50, 100 grand in the bank? Yeah, I met a dude who was making he had he had 3,000 coming in monthly, and he had 100, 200,000 in the bank. Dude was living in the Philippines, Cebu, doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. He was went from there to like Thailand, doing whatever the hell he wants to do, and then Colombia, doing the same thing, whatever the hell he wanted to do. So yeah, that's the dream right there. Vietnam is cheaper. Anthony says really bad experience. Ho Chi Minh is not a great place to go. Yeah, Ho Chi Minh was bad, man. I don't have anything good to say at all. Like it was very bad. We got scammed by drivers. We were in a hotel that said it was a 3 and it was like a 1. The pictures are all nice and stuff. Everywhere we went, like people were trying to scam us. It was ridiculous. Then they drive on the sidewalks. That's a question for you, Anthony. Do they drive on the sidewalks where you are? They were driving on the freaking sidewalks. And that was the worst thing out of everything. Worse than the scams. The food was great, by the way. But worse than anything was they were driving on the freaking sidewalk. You be walking on the sidewalk here. I have a video of it. I can't wait to post it. So just walking on the sidewalk, and then a bike comes beeping its horn for you to get the hell out of their way, because they're driving on the sidewalk. I'm like, are you freaking kidding? It was hilarious. It was so extreme. I was laughing. I was literally laughing while I'm dodging bikes. It was hilarious. And we were like, nah, because one of my favorite things to do is walk around, and if I can't walk around, I'd have to wake up at like 5 a.m. to walk around. So that there was no cars. But by the time you hit, by the time it hit like, I don't know, 8 a.m., 7 a.m., streets are crowded and people are driving on the damn sidewalk. Yeah. To get around the traffic. Like what happened is it's so crowded in the street, they would drive on the sidewalk to bypass the traffic or to take a shortcut. It was bad, man. It was really bad. If I can't walk around, if I can't walk from one place to another, then that was pretty much a showstopper for me. Anthony says Ho Chi Minh is not a great place to go. VSKR says a few months ago when I got back from Thailand, I was 15 pounds lighter from running through so many joints out there. $3 per day for the 21 days. Do the math. Three a day. Oh, I see what you're saying. 3 a day for 21 days. Do the math. Man, I love Thailand, man. I love the mentality there is what I always imagine Southeast Asia to be like. And it's the only place. When I went to the Philippines, everybody told me how crazy it was, and they were like, man, there's women everywhere. And you go to these clubs and there's women everywhere and all stuff. And I went to the Philippines and the poverty made me cry. The poverty was so bad that I cried. I was like, how can people have fun here? I mean, those little kids on this, man, that messed me up to this day, man. Like, it messed me up. Like, seeing that, I was like, this is... So people are basically exploiting these people. That's what they're saying. They're having all this fun because they're exploiting people. I'm like, this is not good, So I love the Philippines. It's just, it wasn't. Everybody was. It's just not. Thailand was what people, when people were talking about the Philippines all those times, it was Thailand that matched what they were saying. Like, Thailand is insane. It is insane. And this is not like because they have to. It's more like, well, in some cases because, it's, it's just different. Like, the mentality there is different. Let me see. Broly Khan says, you take yourself wherever you go. Most people don't prepare and think that things will be given. Things will be given to them mainly because the entitlements, thinking that the locals worship them, but really scamming them. Yeah, I'd say some of that's true, Broly Khan. I agree with that. They think you go there, you get a taste, and you're like, oh my God, people, I feel like a rock star. Then they go there, and they don't have like income, they didn't save, they don't know how much it costs, they don't know about the culture, they don't know that they're scam, they don't know that some of these people hate foreigners, they don't know that people say anything to get you come out your pocket. They don't, and just they don't get it, and they go there and people run through them, and then and then some of them like get addicted to drugs and stuff. It's just sad. Fellow traveler says 3K is great number living in Asia, man. Heck yeah, really good. Gabriel says, wow, shaking my head. Anthony says Hanoi and Da Nang is the place. Oh, really? So I went to the wrong place then. That's how it is there. So is Hanoi and Da Nang like Ho Chi Minh? Because if that's the case, I'm not gonna go to either one of them places. Yeah, not gonna do that again. Not ever again. That place was insane. I'm telling you, we got off the plane, we got into our place, and the thing that made us leave was really the cars on the sidewalks. Once you see the video, you'll see it's shocking, man. This is one of the craziest horrible experiences I've had. Daryl says, I went to Singapore about 5 years ago, and it's a very clean place, super expensive. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I've heard Singapore is nice to visit, but I really do love the Philippines. I love the Philippines, man. I really fell in love with the Philippines for sure. I fell in love with the Philippines and Thailand. Those are two places I could see myself possibly living in, or just chilling, retiring, all that. But Thailand more so. It's more open-minded. They got more of their stuff together as far as the economy goes. They definitely have problems. There's definitely still poverty and stuff there, but it's not on the same level as the Philippines. They're bad. They've got something more. There's more structure there from a financial perspective. It's more stable financially than the Philippines. Probably politically is not as stable because it's all over the place politically. But Anthony says Ho Chi Minh is still living in the past. Older generation. Hanoi is very progressive. Oh, really? Wow, interesting. Very, very interesting. Wow. But do they drive on the sidewalk though? That's what I want to know, Anthony. In Hanoi and Da Nang, do they drive on the sidewalk? Do you have to jump out the way when they're driving on the sidewalk? Do they honk their horn when you're having an evening stroll? Can I expect to be damn near run over by a motorbike? That's my curiosity. Do they have to put a bar in the middle of the sidewalk so the cars don't drive down the sidewalks? That's what I'm wondering. Because Ho Chi Minh, that's Ho Chi Minh right there. Then there was this. Ho Chi Minh has a walking street, right? And so if you go to Google, you go to YouTube, check it out. It looks great on video. So go to YouTube and type in walking street Vietnam. It looks like, whoa, that looks so cool. But you'll notice in some of the videos there'll be motorbikes driving down walking street. Yeah. So what those videos, many of them don't show is how crowded it is and how many cars and motorbikes there are on that walking street. Walking street. Imagine if you've ever been to a walking street, if you've ever been to Thailand walking street, or you've been to the walking street in the Philippines. Imagine that walking street and then cars driving down it, and then way more packed, like 10 times more packed, with cars trying to go through the crowd. Yeah, that's walking street in Vietnam. Insane, like horrible. We walked down it, we filmed it, we left. We didn't party, we didn't go to clubs. We filmed and we left because it was brutal. Anthony said no driving on the sidewalks. Wow. Okay, well, that's good. We went to the wrong place. And the reason why we went is a friend of ours said, "Oh wow, the clubs are crazy and like wow, it's like you gotta check it out and stuff." And we were originally supposed to meet them there, and then they were like, "Nah, we're not gonna go." So we're like, "Damn, what are we gonna do?" We're like, "Okay, we'll just go ourselves." So we went. Wow, what a big mistake! I really wish I wouldn't have gone there. I really wish. If I could go back in time, I would not go to Ho Chi Minh. That's how bad it was. It was so. I also had a not a great experience in Hong Kong, and I would say my experience in Vietnam was worse than that. I was like, damn, we went right back to Thailand. I mean, I'm hearing like Indonesia's nice. I still want to check out Bali. Singapore would be nice to visit, but I think we're gonna switch gears and start going to South America. It's closer. Yuri has her citizenship now, so we can go wherever the hell we want. Anthony said Ho Chi Minh is where all the crime gangs center in. Wow. Yeah, I believe it. It was bad, man. And they were really rude. They were rude to women too. That was really shocking. It's so weird. Like here, Vietnamese immigrants are top of the food chain, man. Vietnamese immigrant. I don't know a single poor Vietnamese immigrant. I don't know a single poor one. I don't know one on the streets. I don't know any addicted to drugs. They just come here and kick ass. That's all they do. They come here and kick ass. They kick ass in every industry. And I went there and it was the opposite of kicking ass. It was like, what is happening here? It says even the Vietnamese don't go there. Wow. Yeah, man. That was a horrible place. Just even coming into the airport was horrible. That was ridiculous. They didn't have the ATM was man, I had so many stories about that place just in the short period of time I was there. Yeah, not going back. Done with Vietnam. I don't know. I mean, I heard there's a couple of good places. Apparently, Da Nang and Hanoi is the place to go, but made a mistake. Went to Ho Chi Minh on the advice of some sellout. No. All right, guys. I think that's it. I've been talking for like 2 hours straight, and it's been great. It's been awesome. Really always enjoy you guys' the conversations. Really do enjoy it. Thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate you. Derek F. Thanks everybody for talking and giving great advice. And that is it for this week. I'm going to do this again next week. I don't know what the topic will be to begin with, but for me, it's always about this conversation. Just talking about anything and everything. Keep up the great work. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thanks for everybody. Talk to you next time. I don't know if we'll have a video this week. I don't have anything prepped as far as the usual Wednesday, Thursday video we put out. If you happen to be on Patreon, expect something crazy. I'm gonna post something there. Probably just raw footage. maybe from Vietnam, actually. Go to Halong. Oh yeah, that's one of the places I heard about. Halong. Is that the place that looks like Palawan? It's got like mountains in the water and stuff. Like it's a beach, right? It's way cheaper. The food was actually very good. I will say that about Vietnam. The food was very good. Every place we went to, the food was great. And I don't normally even like Vietnamese food, but it was so good there. Like maybe because in the U.S. they do something different or something. They had so much variety there. And I was like, wow, this is Vietnamese food. And it was great. Loved it. All right, guys. Oh, it's beautiful. All right. Awesome. Man, we might check in. Who knows? Who knows? We're world travelers. We're gonna get around again. All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta talk. What's my mom talking about over here? I was calling to see how you knew. Okay. All right, guys. All right. See.